Get ready for the Tech Zone. Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific Time Zone. Add the app to your cell phone. Paul Amadeus Lane Zone. With informative interviews and breakthroughs with CEOs and gurus and who's and reviews. Count on Paul to bring y'all the news. Yeah, he done paid dues and never snoozed, refused to lose and stayed humble and still played by the rules. On the scene since 16, Pop's been Paul's gasoline. Spiritual house have to stay clean. Put the kingdom first, y'all know the routine. In the world, the unclean disaster, it's the vaccine, so quarantine. But relive the emphysema epidemic of 1918.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Zone. What's going on? It's me, Paul Amadeus Lane. So happy to have you on our show today. We're going to be talking about digital marketing, your business's reputation. Let me say that over, your business's reputation, because if you in business, you ain't doing it right. But if you in business, you definitely doing it right. We're also going to be talking about the next great innovation when it comes to podcasting. Everyone has a podcast today, and I think it's phenomenal. I do not look at it as competition at all. I look at it as just a variety out there that ones can have an opportunity to really listen to things that interest them. I think when people have more choices, it's great. And so we're going to be joined by a company that's unleashing some master innovation when it comes to that. Welcome to the show. Remember, you can always connect with me, PaulAmadeusLane.com. That takes you to all the shows, all the social media. You can find me there. And remember, you can watch us now on Roku, Fire TV. And if you go to my IG, Paul Amadeus Lane, you notice there in my bio, there is I forget what they call it, a link tree. Yeah, link tree. And it has all the ways you can watch all the shows in the format. So definitely check it out. Appreciate all the support. It's really humbling when someone says they watch the show, listen to the show, and love the show. Just know that I love you too. All right, let's talk about your reputation. Not your reputation in particular, but I guess we can start with that. Nowadays, if you're looking for a job, people will search you to see what kind of reputation you have online. That's the same thing when it comes to business as well. Don't we do that when we are looking for somewhere to shop or to buy different products? We Google them. We find out certain things about that business, see if we want to spend our money at that business. Well, my next guest is going to talk about how businesses can have an amazing reputation. And I'm so happy to have with me right now from Ogvo, Doug Rountree. Doug, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, brother.
Hey, great to have you, my friend. So, hey, hope you and your family are doing well and staying safe during these very challenging times. But it's good to catch up and chat about technology and some of the amazing things that you do. And Doug, before I brought you on, I kind of talked to the audience just about how important it is, if you are in business, to have a presence in search engines and reviews and all the different games we have to play now that we didn't have to play 20 years ago when it came to business.
Right.
And Doug, what kind of, before we talk about, your function with the company and everything, but in a nutshell, can you talk about just how important that strategy is for ones who are in business?
A great question, though. So if you go back 15, 20 years ago, like you said, when somebody had to get some information about you, they had to either ask a friend or call you, right? Nowadays, there's so much information at our fingertips, they're just going to Google you. Even if their friend recommended you, 92% of people are going to just Google you. So it's vitally important that you have your online presence on point so you can control what people are seeing when they do Google you and go do that research.
And Doug, when we look at how things have changed over the years, when it comes to this piece of innovation, how do you guys stay up on the latest trends and everything? As soon as you think you got one trend beat when it comes to searching and marketing presence online, something else switches up, like AI machine learning becomes like something that that starts to have the game play a different way and everything. How do you guys stay abreast of all the things to make sure that when you work with clients, you put them up in a great position to succeed?
Yeah, another great question. So, like, I liken it to Bruce Lee. He said, "Be like water," right? You have to kind of flow with that, and it's true. There's certain platforms that are here today that weren't here. Matter of fact, 2-3 years ago. You look at Google, you look at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, and how all these different platforms are affecting how marketing works. So we kind of keep our ear to the street. Also just listening to our clients, right? Asking them, where's some of your business coming from, right? Where are you looking to drive? And then we give our expert opinion on what's actually happening with the searches in their immediate area, so that can affect change with their business and help them scale and grow.
And Doug, when we look at like in particular Yelp and like Facebook, because those seem to be like the main drivers when it comes to companies and reviews out there. Mm-hmm. How can companies make sure that they're doing their part to get the good reviews out there? Because I think what happens in business, ones think, well, I'll put this out there and I'm just going to get these great reviews and that's it. But they got to put it work too. Do you guys ever have to explain that to them, how this game is played when it comes to reviews?
Great question. So we do have to do a little bit of convincing and show people that, hey, you got to do a little bit of work. You got to be proactive with getting these reviews. What we found is about only 36% of small to medium-sized businesses have a solution to drive reviews. They're doing what you said. They're kind of waiting around, hoping that somebody's going to go to their website and leave them a review. Statistically speaking, folks are way more likely to leave you negative feedback than positive feedback. So you got to be proactive, catch them while they're happy, get those 5-star reviews implemented. Because let's just face it, chances are you have a good business model, right? And they're doing good business. It's just, again, inherently people can be negative and they're only going to harp up when something goes wrong. Right. And so we want to make sure we catch them in those good moments, get that 5-star review documented for them.
You know, I've had some good experiences when I had to leave I don't want to say a negative review, but an honest review. But then I've had some experiences when I've done that. And like, I remember an owner called me after I did that because I didn't have a good experience at his restaurant that I patroned a lot in Las Vegas. And he called me and said, you know, I'm going to make sure to send you a bottle of champagne next time. And I never got it. So, you know, it's one of those things where if businesses say they're going to rectify the issue with a bad review, they can do some damage if they don't live up to their words. Is that true?
That's absolutely true, right? You got to stick by your word. It's right there on display now, and everybody, the way we're connected, everybody can see that. It's on full display, and if you're not holding up your end of the bargain, people will know and business will hurt because of that. So you got to stay on top of that. So it's definitely twofold. On the internet, you got to make sure it's documented. You have that good reputation, but when something goes bad, hey, fix it. Got to fix it. Pour some sugar on it.
There you go. And Doug, sometimes I've seen like businesses go at people with bad reviews, man. And how dangerous is that for businesses to attack people who have an honest, credible, legitimate complaint about a review?
Yeah, that goes down. That's a slippery slope because they're sitting there arguing. Even I tell this to my kids all the time. We could argue, but at the end of the day, you still lose. Even if you're right, you're gonna lose that argument, right? Because the customer always wins. And then again, it's on full display what's going on, and you could potentially lose customers because of that if you're going back and forth with folks. And we coach our clients on this, respond to the review in a respectful manner, be professional about it, address their concern and see if it can be fixed, right? Sometimes you can't please everybody, but you could definitely try and put your best foot forward. And if you're putting that on display for everybody to see. And so if you're putting your best foot forward, if you're trying to rectify the situation, good things will happen because of that. As a matter of fact, those folks that, if, like you said, if they're leaving an honest review, and if it's negative and you address that, chances are they'll become your biggest cheerleader after that.
That's true. You know, I've noticed that like when someone has rectified an issue that I was having, I'm like, I'm down with you. You know, I'm not going to abandon you.
Right.
I let you know that I understand we all are not perfect. We all make mistakes, but when we own up to that and we try to make it right, I can roll with you again. But if you try to come at me sideways and try to,
you're not going to win that battle, right? Because I'm not going to delete the review now. I may leave you a more negative review, and other folks are going to see that. And
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all bad.
Yeah, I may have to do a little Instagram video talking about you, putting you on blast like that. Do like a diss track about you. You know what I mean? So, people.
It'll happen. I'll kind of off topic, but I don't know if you saw what happened with DJ Drama and United Airlines.
Oh yeah.
And that's social proof right there. He said, "I'm gonna put this on Instagram," and he's like, "I don't gotta sue you. I don't gotta do nothing. I'm just gonna put it on Instagram, and boom, and let the masses do their thing." And yeah, it's definitely gonna affect business. Because he's blasting them.
Yeah, and it always seems to be like the ones who try to make brownie points at different businesses. They really put businesses in a bad light to get bad reviews. Ones who are trying to kiss up and really don't hold the values of the owners or the managers. They kind of, put them in a bad light. And do you guys ever step in and be like, "Hey, you need to reprimand that person right there"?
Right.
How involved do you guys get in stuff like that?
Yeah. So one of the things that we do, we work with a lot of real estate agents, right? Real estate teams. And so one of the key factors of reviews, while it helps with conversions and visibility, all of that, it also helps you identify problem areas. So if you're having an issue, let's say, I'll just use Bob, for example, right? Bob keeps dropping the ball with his clients, right? And he keeps showing up in these reviews, negative responses, Bob. Well, probably about time that management has a talk with Bob. And that's another thing that we coach our clients on. It's like, hey, you can also use this tool to see what's going right and also see what's going wrong with the software. Yep.
I love that. And that's where we're at in the business streaming things. I know back in the days, people would hire consultants to try to see where the issues are. But now, ones like yourself really fit that mold in trying to help businesses succeed. What has been the biggest challenge during COVID with maybe getting clients and helping clients to navigate through, these very challenging waters
right.
when the economy is kind of in tatters, but not only that, people are more emotional and they're more prone to lash out just because of their external feelings that they're going through. And how do you help the clients to say, maybe you want to take that with a grain of salt, but still help them out to see that people are just in a more emotional state now than other times?
Right. So with that, as far as people leaving negative feedback, so one of the things our software does is it'll catch negative feedback, right, before it goes online. So the client has a chance to address that via email before it ever goes online. So that's number one thing that we do. But again, if somebody's mad about something, they'll figure out a way to go around the software and leave you a bad review. And same thing, respond professionally, see what you could do to rectify the situation and address it with the client. And again, do it publicly. If they're posting it publicly, you might as well address it publicly. And hey, we dropped the ball here, there, wherever, and get it fixed for them. Right. As far as our business and the struggles that I've faced, it's been interesting. With COVID, a lot of small, medium-sized businesses were affected. A lot of them shut down. Right. And so there was a lot of fear when it came to signing up for new programs, investing in their online presence. The flip side of that coin is a lot of people got quarantined. A lot of people are working from home, which also means a lot of people are spending a lot of time on the internet. So they have their time to do research on companies they're going to work with. If they need a new roof, they're definitely going to research that roofer before they make that call. So your online presence is probably more important today than it was a year or two ago. Yep. Yeah,
and that's true. That's true. It's like it seems like we have entered a new normal when it comes to just the economy and business and kind of looking past this pandemic. maybe a hybrid approach of what's, what we're dealing with now and everything. Anything else out there, Doug, you'd like to share with us about some of the things that you guys do, or any other things that the ones out there who are listening who have not a business but a business, and how
business.
Yeah, you go, and how you guys can really help them succeed in just having customers have that amazing experience?
Yeah. So what we do in a nutshell is we automate the review process for you, right? So it makes it easy for you to get reviews, but more importantly, it makes it easy for your clients to leave your reviews on multiple platforms. And you named a couple like Facebook, Yelp. Mainly what we focus on is Google, right? One thing that people don't realize is the more 4 or 5 star reviews you get on Google, the more visibility Google will reward you. Right? They prioritize their own Google profiles. As a matter of fact, you can Google, and if you're listening to this, try it out. Google best plumber in your area, best roofer in your area, or best restaurant in your area. You're going to see some ads, and then you're going to see a map section. That is your Google business profile. And a majority of the ranking on that is tied directly to your reviews, and then consistency, and then interactions, optimization. So we help with that as well. And then we're also doing text message featuring, so auto text feature. So people could just auto text you. So for instance, let's say that plumber, you could text clog to this number and then get right back to you. So we're kind of running the whole gambit. We want to make sure you're getting your reviews, your online presence is on point for conversion and visibility, but also you can nurture that client and get right back to them in a fast, responsive way.
Awesome. And Doug, what made you want to choose this as a career? What was it about it that
Gotcha. It's funny how I got into it. So, former military, right? And I was a mechanic, and I was working on diesel engines out here in the Seattle area. And then was it 2009? They started laying off everybody. Economy was going crazy, and so I got into sales, and I started working at LA Fitness, incidentally. And 3 years later, this one of my trainers came to me. She's like, "Hey, you should go talk to this company. They were doing digital ad space for local news stations." So I got into that, and I loved it, right? And then I started studying at Bellevue College, getting my digital marketing degree, and it's been digital marketing ever since. Kind of fell in love with it because it's kind of the wave of where things are going, or where they are is really what it is where they are, and it's going to continue to grow in that space. And it's very interesting and rewarding to help. I like small, medium-sized businesses because that's the baseline of our economy, and I like helping out normal folks like myself.
I hear you. And when it comes to digital marketing, what's kind of like the biggest misconceptions that businesses have out there on why they're not investing in this type of marketing? They don't see it as maybe being in a penny saver, being in television, radio, and all these other forms of marketing. What's kind of the biggest misconceptions that ones have?
One of the biggest misconceptions is uber expensive to get your name out there online, right? Also, a lot of people get burned with a lot of ads out there, because when you're talking about ads, half of them work. I think Henry Ford had that famous line that half of his marketing works, half of it doesn't, but he doesn't know which half it is, so he just keeps doing it, right? So it's kind of hard to track these things. But the biggest misconception, and the one thing if I relay anything, is people can do this, right? You just have to make yourself visible, put yourself out there, start with a Google business page. It's free to do. We specialize in helping optimize that, but it is free to get a Google business page going. If you're not on the Google map, you'll never show up in an organic search, right? So that would be my first tip to folks. It's free to do. So the expensive thing, get that out of your thinking. You could do it, right? Now, if you're talking about Google ads, that does get expensive real quick because you're bidding against other competitors. But again, you could do that, and sky's the limit with what you could do with the internet and the reach you can get.
Awesome. So Doug, how can ones reach out to the company or to you so that they can find out different solutions that can help them?
Absolutely. So you can reach me directly by my phone number. You call me 206-580-2525, or you can email me at Doug at ogvo.com. That's OGGVO. For my military folks, Oscar Golf Victor Oscar.com. We'll know what it stands for: organically getting great visibility online, and we will help you do that. And yeah, give me a call. Like I tell all the folks I talk to, whether we partner up or not, I will educate you and get you on the right track at least. Because again, only 36% of folks got this type of solution, and so I'm always giving out education and helping people out. So I like doing that.
Awesome. And we got to have some fun now. Tell me your most memorable Ryan and Erica Michaels story. I got to do that. So
I will tell you one of my most memorable ones. So we went to see Too Fast, Too Furious, right? And Mike's, I call Ryan Mike's, R.Mike's, that's his rap name. And he let me drive his Protege 5. He had just got a new Protege 5. It was a stick shift, and I thought I was in the movie. I'm peeling out of the parking. We were in Victorville, too. Peeling out of the parking lot, just flying down the interstate. He's like, take it easy on the clutch. I got it. Too fast, too furious. Booming the soundtrack, too.
I love it, man. I love it. Wow. R.Mike's. I'm going to call him that now because I try to call him Rye, call him Mike's, but R.Mike's. That's what I'm starting to call him.
R.Mike's.
I love it. I love it.
That's my guy.
Yeah. They're cool people. Him and Erica are just amazing people. And Doug, I appreciate having you on too. We definitely got to do it again, chop it up and talk digital marketing. And I think henceforth you'll be known as our digital marketing guy we can go to when we need some answers.
Fair enough. I got you. I got a lot of knowledge up here. I'm willing to talk for days.
Huge shout out to my man, Doug Rountree, digital marketing expert. I mean, Doug got a lot of knowledge, and he's good friends with members on my team, Ryan and Erica Michaels. So that was a pretty cool story he told me about you. R.Mike's. I didn't know that was your rapping name back then. I got a picture of Ryan and Doug when they were in a rap group together too. I should share that, but I'm sharing it on social media, so you guys can definitely check that out. When we get back, we're going to talk about the latest and the greatest in podcast innovation and why I think this innovation is changing the game when it comes to podcasts. Be right back after these messages.